All right, welcome back everybody, and let's give you a Tumbler 101 class. So this is the version that we will be releasing this Friday, which is the regular Batman Begins Tumbler version. As we announced, it will be $13.99. We'll have at least 25% diecast, smoke, sound, lights, DC powered, and it will come with the sitting Batman if you order early, and if the support is good, we can keep that for the rest of the run. Now the other one is the Camo version. Now this is one of 4 Camo versions, and we intended to have a conversion kit, but unfortunately, alas, we have not been able to do that. If you look at the way that attaches, there's just no way to get that good and gapless, especially since there are quite a few different versions. So we will also be offering this one, but it will not convert. Now, let me take you through the different versions. So we call this version 2. This is the Canon version. This is pictures of this thing driving around at high speed on the Top Gear track. You see the Canon on top, and it kind of neatly folds in and also comes up. Now here we are also already faced with a choice. So we have the ability to make that Canon move mechanically. Since the movement are very simple, up and down, left and right, we might be able to do that mechanically. However, since there's also a version of basically this design without the Canon, we could also make the Canon removable and make what we call the command version, but then we would have to lose the idea of the engine, the motors. So let's go back to version 1. This is basically the regular Camo version. This is the one that also was released by Hot Toys. Ours, of course, will be 32.5 inches long, so that translates to 83 centimeters in length. Basically the same tumbler you see in Batman Begins when he asked, does it come in black? This also shows up in The Dark Knight Rises. It's just a repaint and weathered version of the regular Camo. We will also be offering this. This will be $13.49 because there's not going to be a conversion kit. Now, if you look at version 3, this is the command version. You'll see the basic design is similar to the Canon version, but it just doesn't have that Canon on top and left. Now, I want your feedback. Do you prefer to have that Canon version perfect and with mechanical moving parts, or would you prefer we make some conversion kit where you can just put the Canon on top of this command version and at least have those 2 variations? And then finally, there's so this is one more look at the command version. And then finally, there's a 4th version, and maybe with all the specialists out there, we'll hear about more versions. There's the rocket launcher version. Again, this is a completely different design. Here it is. It looks like the command version, but it's quite different. Especially, I'm going to ask you to look at that rectangular shape with the rounded sides that moves up like this, extends, and then there's a rocket launch that comes out of the roof, and also the rear is different. So for now, we won't be offering this. If sales on the Tumbler go very well and all the different Camo versions are very well supported as well, we might offer this at a later date. But for now, basically, we will have the regular Tumbler in black, the regular Camo version, and then the Canon version. Now, based on your feedback, do we also make the command version, or do we go for the Canon version with a mechanically remote controlled moving Canon? Now, there's also another choice to be made here, and let me ask you to look at the opening. So most of the tumblers that were made for this movie had a hatch opening like you see in this picture. So that's true for all of the Camo versions, but also true for the black version. It's true for the version we scanned. It's true for the version that you can see in the Jay Leno Garage video on YouTube. And so we have a choice to make here. If we do this roof like this, then again, that could be something that could be motor operated to open and close, no problem. If we have to do the opening interior, or I'm sorry, the opening the way you see in the movies where the roof comes up and then the front of it goes in, there's 2 issues with that. Well, actually 3. So let me take you in closer for that. All right, the first problem is the interior. If you want to do a real detailed interior like we are planning to do, as you can see here, there's a lot going on inside, especially on the roof. So the most important thing you saw on the roof in that previous picture is that there are many little screens at angles in the roof. You can also see it in these screenshots that are coming up now. So if you want to do the roof like this with all the details that are on the roof, and we have a lot of access to that, but also have those screens and also have them light up, then you can't make that, because they didn't do it on set, make that same version also have the front windows basically slide into the roof, because that's where the wires and the LEDs and all that sort of thing would be. The other issue with that option is also the paint rub, so that's problem 2. So the first option, and I think that's the best that I'm seeing, is take a similar approach to what DC Collectibles or McFarlane Toys has done, where the whole roof opens as one. You can have maximum access to the interior, see all the detail, and also see the detail on the roof. So I suggest that is the best option if you want maximum accuracy and detail inside. So option 2 would be to build it the way most of them were built. This is the Canon version of the camouflage tumbler, so version 2, but you will also see this in all of the other camouflage tumblers. I believe that's the way it was in the movies even, but for the black stealth versions, all of them also had that hatch, like I said, as the one we scanned, as the one that you saw on Jay Leno's garage, which were 2 different versions, by the way. So that's another option. Right, and then option 3 is, as you see in the movie, where the roof comes up and then the front goes back in. There's that option. The things to think about when you say you want option 3 is that, as you can see, there's no room for any stuff in the ceiling, no lights, no buttons, no screens, and the other thing to think about is, of course, paint rub, because whereas the other models usually aren't painted, this one will be both painted and weathered, and then also shaded, which means that if you move all these parts inside one another, there's always the chance of paint rub. The third issue is that, and maybe if you have the Hot Toys version, you'll know what I mean. It's impossible to have that seamless look at the front where all these parts should be touching, because on the actual driving units that are out there, those there are no gaps, no spaces, because basically that there was the opening hatch in the roof, and those parts are actually welded on the front. So let me take you in close to show you what I mean. So on the actual driving versions, this part here at the front is actually just bolted down, as you can see, whereas if you open that up, you can't have it bolted down, and you won't have that very tight panel gap you see at the front. And the same thing goes for all those legs you see on the side, if you know what I mean, that come down from the roof. You can see on the driving versions, those things are actually bolted down. So for option 3, to have that opening like a petal of flowers look, that was one special unit on set that could do that. If we want to do that on our version of the tumbler, you won't have those things bolted down and tight like you see on the version that we're currently making, and you won't be able to have the roof detail with the buttons, the lights, and the screens, and you'll have the issue of the paint rub. So let me know, option 1, the full opening as one unit, option 2, the hatch, or option 3, the petal of a flower approach. So I wanted to address these issues before we go open live with the pre-order, so that you know what you're getting. So there's the $13.99 stealth version with, well, one of the 3 options for the roof. It will have the light up features, the sound, the smoke, and the sitting Batman will be at least 25% die cast, and we can start adding more die cast and more features for free if more and more people support. Then moving on to the camo versions, then we have the Camo Canon version, which has never been made, mind you. So this is the Canon version that we will be making. Again, this one is also going to be $13.99 because of basically all this new tooling that we have to create custom for this version. Basically, it's a whole different vehicle from the upper half up, and only the bottom half is almost the same. So again, for this one, the question, what we want to do with the roof, do you want to make it accurate with this hatch, or also have this the Camo version open, like the whole thing opening? And then the other final Camo version that we will be offering, that's the original Camo version. Basically, it's same as the Stealth Tumbler, but it will have that Camo paint job. Call it Camo version 1. So those are the 3 versions we're offering, and then the final version, let's go with the Command version next. So because this won't come with a sitting figure or require a different tooling, we can offer this one at $13.49. So for this Command version, we might be able to make that Canon version and make that Canon removable, and then you will also have the option of the Command version. On the other hand, if we decide, based on all your feedback, we want to have that Canon move mechanically, then we might not offer this as part of the Canon version. And then we really need a lot of support to even consider making yet another mold to make this rocket launch version. So you won't see that on the website Friday, and it really depends on all your support. So if you've stuck around till the end, thank you very much. I hope it makes sense. Please rewatch this if you have any more questions or ask them. And until the next time.